No one warned us about this truth when we were younger. The power in our legs holds the key to our independence. You don't think about your legs much until one day. Standing up feels like lifting bricks, or you find yourself gripping the stair rail a little tighter. It doesn't happen overnight, but it does creep in quietly. One morning, your legs feel heavier than usual. You pause halfway down the steps, a bit shaky, not because you're lazy, but because the strength that once carried you effortlessly has slowly slipped away. This isn't just aging. It's a signal, a sign your muscles are asking for help. Every 11 seconds, somewhere in the world, an older adult lands in the hospital due to a fall. The stat may seem cold, but it carries weight behind. Each number is a story of pain, fear, and a lost sense of control. I've seen this firsthand. As a nutritionist working with people from their 50s to their 90s, I can tell you this: weak legs are not something you must accept. They are a result of what you do or don't do every day. The right foods, the right timing, even the tiniest changes can make a difference. You don't need to buy expensive supplements or enroll in intense gym programs. In fact, the answers often lie in your own kitchen. Real foods, real nutrients, real results. Let me show you how. I've worked with people like Maria, who fell in her bathroom and thought she'd need a cane for life. Or Jose, who could barely walk up the stairs without trembling. 3 months after simple dietary changes, Maria walked across the plaza without support. Jose climbed stairs without needing to rest. The shift didn't come from medication. It came from food, for simple, overlooked foods that changed their lives. Let's start with the first. It's tiny, humble. You've probably passed it on the grocery shelf without a second glance. But this small, round legume is a quiet powerhouse. Chickpeas, also known as garbanzo beans, are one of the best foods you can eat for rebuilding leg strength. Why? Because they're rich in plant-based protein, a building block your body needs to restore muscles, especially as you age. After 50, your body begins losing muscle mass faster, a condition called sarcopenia. Left unchecked, it leads to weaker legs, poorer balance, and a greater risk of falling. But chickpeas go beyond protein. They contain magnesium, iron, and vitamin B6 nutrients essential for muscle contractions, energy, and nerve function. These nutrients help your legs feel less stiff, less tired, and more responsive. A 2019 study from the University of Mercuria found that adults over 60 who ate chickpeas 3 times a week lost 22%. Less muscle mass compared to those who didn't eat. That's not a statistic, that's a second chance at independence. I remember one of my patients, Jose, 74, retired, proud, and deeply frustrated after a fall on the stairs. We started small, no pills, no radical changes. Just adding chickpeas 3 times a week to soups, stews, and salads. 5 weeks later, he stood up from his chair without wobbling. He walked around his neighborhood, confident and upright. His change wasn't magic. It was nutrition. Start with half a cup of cooked chickpeas per serving. You don't need them daily, just a few times a week can help. Roast them with lemon and herbs. Toss them into a salad with cucumber and parsley. Simmer them in soup with carrots and turmeric. These little changes are delicious and healing. Here's a tip. If you're using dried chickpeas, soak them overnight with a pinch of baking soda. This helps break down phytic acid, improves digestion, and boosts iron absorption. Absorption especially helpful for older adults with sensitive stomachs. Food isn't just about flavor. When chosen with care, it becomes a tool for mobility, balance, and self-confidence. Let's move to the second food, one that doesn't just help your muscles, but also your sleep. Pumpkin seeds. If chickpeas are the foundation, pumpkin seeds are the fine-tuning. These small, crunchy seeds support the nervous system, help prevent nighttime leg cramps, and keep your muscles and nerves working in harmony. They're rich in magnesium, one of the most important minerals for muscle function. But here's the problem. Many people over 50 are deficient in magnesium, even if they eat well. And that deficiency can show up as stiffness, twitching, and cramps. In 2020, researchers in Madrid studied adults over 55 who ate 30 to 40 grams of pumpkin seeds a day. After 6 weeks, they had 31% fewer leg cramps at night and showed improved balance on one-foot tasks. That's what happened to Carmen, a 68-year-old I worked with in Zaragoza. She'd wake at 3 a.m. almost every night, her calves tight and aching. She had tried stretches, heat, massages, nothing worked. I suggested a simple change: a handful of roasted pumpkin seeds every afternoon around 4 p.m. Within 3 weeks, her cramps had nearly disappeared. After 6, she woke up rested for the first time in years. Her mood lifted. Her energy returned. She started walking again, not just out of habit, but because she felt good. If you want to try this, aim for 30 grams a day, about 2 tablespoons. You can toss them into salads, sprinkle them over porridge, or snack on them plain. Try to eat them between 3 o'clock and 5 p.m. That gives your body enough time to absorb the magnesium before bedtime. It's a small window with a big reward. These seeds help reduce inflammation, ease joint pain, and strengthen nerve communication. They don't just help you sleep, they help you move with confidence during the day. And that confidence, feeling secure in your own steps, is everything. We've talked about muscles and nerves now. Let us turn our attention to the structure that holds everything together: your joints and bones. If you've ever felt a strange popping when you rise from a chair or a creak in your knees when climbing stairs, your body may be whispering something important. It's saying, "I need support. I need nourishment." You might not expect this next food shit doesn't grow on trees or in fields. It comes from the sea. Seaweed, delicate, paper-thin, and often overlooked, seaweed might not seem like a solution. But for many aging adults, it's been the missing piece. Seaweed is one of nature's richest sources of iodine, organic calcium, and rare compounds like fucoiodine and laminar and anti-inflammatory nutrients that do more than just support your thyroid. They help hydrate cartilage, restore joint fluid, reduce stiffness, and even increase bone density. After age 60, bone loss speeds up, especially in women. Fragile bones and stiff joints make walking riskier and more painful. But studies show seaweed can help. In 2021, a research paper published in the American Journal of Community Nutrition followed women over 60 who ate seaweed regularly. Their bone density was up to 16% higher than those who didn't include it in their diet. These aren't just lab results, they're real-life transformations. Let me introduce Maria, former yoga teacher in her 70s. Her knees had begun to ache so badly she could no longer practice, let alone teach. She feared she'd lost her flexibility for good. But we looked beyond medications. We looked at her diet. We introduced seaweed 3 times a week. Wakame in miso soup, nori wrapped around rice and vegetables, seaweed salads with sesame and rice vinegar. It didn't look revolutionary, but it was. Within 8 weeks, her pain had eased. She was moving more freely. By the 3rd month, she was stretching again. Maria hadn't just gotten her strength back, she had gotten part of her life back. Seaweed can be subtle in taste, but powerful in benefit. It helps your body generate synovial fluid, the cushioning liquid inside your joints. It soothes inflammation and supplies calcium in a form that's easier to absorb than from dairy. Try adding it in small ways. Toss a handful of dried wakame into soups. Make a rice bowl with edamame, avocado, and seaweed. Use roasted nori as a wrap or a snack. These small servings can stack up quickly. Here's a tip to make seaweed even more effective. Add a dash of sesame oil and a few slivers of fresh ginger. This warms the digestive tract and increases calcium absorption, particularly helpful for older adults whose digestion has slowed. And don't worry if seaweed feels foreign, it's easy to integrate and surprisingly versatile. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. 2 to 3 times a week is enough to feel the difference. Think of seaweed not just as food, but as a gentle healer from the Oceana gift to your joints that helps you move more fluidly and pain-free. Now, let's talk about the final food on this list. This one doesn't come from the sea, but it's no less of a miracle. Avocado. Soft, creamy, and rich in healthy fats, the avocado is more than just a breakfast trend. It's a neurologic ally, especially if you've experienced numbness in your legs, tingling in your feet, or that strange disconnect where your brain and your steps don't quite match. That disconnection isn't in your head, it's often in your nerves, and avocado speaks directly to them. Here's why. Avocados are rich in monosaturated fats, especially oleic acid. These fats strengthen the membranes of nerve cells and help maintain the communication pathways between your brain, spine, and lower body. That communication is key. When it's strong, you move confidently. When it's weak, you feel unsure, off balance, or unstable. But that's not all. Avocados are loaded with potassium, a mineral critical for muscle contraction and nerve signaling. They also contain vitamin E. It's an antioxidant that protects delicate nerve endings from the effects of aging and oxidative damage. In a 2021 study conducted by the American Institute of Nutrition and Geriatrics, older adults who included avocado in their morning meals at least 4 times a week showed measurable improvements in their posture, steadiness, and stride. I remember one man in particular, Miguel, 79, a retired teacher who had begun to lose feeling in his feet. He loved walking in the park with his grandson, but now every step felt distant and unsteady. His doctor ruled out diabetes, and we looked to nutrition. We made one change: a slice of whole grain toast with mashed avocado, lemon, and chia seeds instead of his usual sweet pastry. It was a small shift, but for weeks later, Miguel came back with a grin. "I can feel the ground again," he said. "I can walk beside my grandson, not behind him." That's the power of the right fat at the right time. You don't need to eat a whole avocado each day. A third to half, 3 or 4 times a week is plenty. Mash it on toast, blend it into a smoothie with banana and almond milk, or toss it into a salad with quinoa and leafy greens. Here's a bonus tip. Sprinkle your avocado with flax seeds, walnuts, or chia. Not only do these add crunch and flavor, they boost your intake of omega-3 south and vitamin E, which help reduce inflammation and protect nerves even further. Don't let the softness of avocado fool you. It builds strong, stable foundations from within. Every bite helps reconnect your body's internal network, making your steps more grounded, your balance more natural, and your confidence more restored. You're not just feeding your body, you're restoring your relationship with it. As we age, the slow fading of strength can feel like something being taken from us one small ability at a time. But what if it's not lost? What if it's just waiting to be reawakened? That's what I've seen time and time again with clients who make these small, consistent changes. For everyday foods, one goal: help your legs carry you with confidence again. Not only do they restore strength, but they reconnect you with something even more important to our independence. This isn't just a story about nutrition. It's a story about dignity. When Carmen no longer woke up from painful cramps, she started dancing again at family gatherings. When Jose could finally get out of his chair without trembling, he joined his neighborhood morning walk. And when Miguel said he could feel the ground again, it wasn't about nerves, it was about joy. When we talk about weak legs, it's easy to focus only on the physical. But strength is not just muscle. It's also the sense of control, the freedom to go where you want, and the confidence that your body will cooperate. And that kind of strength starts with what you put on your plate. Let's pause and reflect on the 4 foods that can rebuild the foundation of your movement. Chickpeas, simple, affordable, and full of muscle-preserving protein. They're more than a pantry item, they're a first line of defense against sarcopenia. The magnesium and vitamin B6 they contain help activate your muscles and reduce the sensation of heavy, tired legs. Just half a cup, a few times a week, is enough to begin noticing the shift. Pumpkin seeds, tiny yet powerful. They don't just prevent cramps and stiffness. They support your nerves, improve sleep quality, and help reduce inflammation in joints and muscles. When eaten regularly in the afternoon, they prepare your body for deeper, more restorative rest. Seaweed light, nutrient-rich, and crucial for joints. The iodine, calcium, and anti-inflammatory compounds in seaweed dan tea just improve flexibility. They restore the joint fluid and cartilage your body depends on to move freely. Even just 2 or 3 servings a week can improve mobility and reduce that unsettling, crackling, or grinding feeling in your knees. Avocados, smooth, comforting, and healing from the inside out. The healthy fats in avocados help your nerve endings stay protected and your brain communicate more clearly with your legs. Add in potassium and vitamin E, and you have a powerful tool for regaining sensation and control. Together, these 4 foods aren't a cure, they're a system. A rhythm, a natural, effective path toward making each step stronger, steadier, and more comfortable. And they're not hard to implement. You don't need to change your life. You don't need to memorize complicated recipes or invest in expensive superfoods. You just need a routine, a small, intentional pattern that prioritizes these foods several times per week. Even if your legs feel weak right now, even if you've already experienced a fall, there is still time to change the direction of your story. Your body hasn't given up on you. It's waiting for the right fuel to begin repairing what time has worn down. I often tell my patients, it's not just about avoiding the next fall. It's about walking into your garden again, about playing with your grandchild, about dancing in your kitchen when no one's looking. When Carmen's cramps went away, she didn't just sleep better, she laughed more. When Maria's knees stopped aching, she rejoined her old yoga group and started stretching under the morning sun. These aren't medical outcomes, they're life outcomes, and they came from simple choices. Not pills, it's not procedures. So if you're wondering where to start, here's a sample rhythm. Monday lunch, chickpea salad with olive oil and lemon. Wednesday afternoon, a handful of pumpkin seeds at 4:00 p.m. Thursday dinner, seaweed miso soup with tofu and brown rice. Saturday breakfast, whole grain toast with mashed avocado and chia seeds. Repeat, adjust, mix and match. But most importantly, begin, and don't stop at food. The return of leg strength comes faster when paired with gentle movement. Light walking, stretching, standing up from a chair, slowly these motions. When repeated, send a message to your body. We're coming back. Let the food do the building. Let the movement do the reminding. Even if your progress feels small, every day you choose nourishment over neglect, you're growing stronger. Strength doesn't always return with a grand gesture. Sometimes it comes back quietly through a bowl of soup, a handful of seeds, a slice of avocado on toast. It comes when we stop waiting for big change and start feeding the body what it's been asking for all along. Your legs may feel weak now. You might struggle to get up from the sofa or feel nervous on the stairs. But weakness is not a life sentence. It's a signal. And that signal can be answered with food, with movement, with attention. I've seen it again and again. Not just improvement, but transformation. One woman, age 81, told me she hadn't walked across the street alone in years. After 4 months of consistent changes, adding chickpeas to lunch, pumpkin seeds every afternoon, seaweed soup twice a week, avocado toast in the morning, she did it. She crossed the street. Then she kept going. These are the kinds of victories we don't talk enough about. Not dramatic, not flashy, but deeply human. And here's the truth you deserve to hear. It's never too late. It doesn't matter if you're 55 or 85. Your body still responds. Your muscles still repair. Your nerves still fire. Your bones still rebuild. But only if you give them what they need. Weak legs aren't just about aging. They're about deficiency. A deficiency in support, movement, and most importantly, in nourishment. When you correct that with foods your body recognizes and uses instantly, you don't just get stronger legs, you get your freedom back. And that freedom isn't measured in steps. It's measured in choices. Choosing to stand without fear. Choosing to go for a walk. Choosing to live life without hesitation. Let's recap what you now know what you can begin doing today. Add chickpeas to your weekly meals 3 times a week to rebuild muscle and support your nervous system. Eat pumpkin seeds every afternoon to prevent cramps, support sleep, and restore muscular coordination. Include seaweed in your meals 2 to 3 times a week to nourish your joints and protect bone density. Use avocado to restore nerve communication and prevent numbness, instability, and missteps. Each of these is more than a food. It's a tool. And when combined, they become your personal foundation, stronger than fear, stronger than age, stronger than the quiet doubt that sometimes creeps in when your legs tremble. This is how you reclaim yourself. Let the world focus on treatments and trends. You can start with your kitchen, because real healing doesn't always come in a bottle. It comes in flavor. It comes in intention. And it comes when you decide your future is worth feeding. So take the first step literally. Stand up, even if it's with a handrail. Walk to your kitchen. Make a bowl of chickpeas. Sprinkle some pumpkin seeds in your next meal. Try a miso seaweed broth. Cut into a ripe avocado. And do it knowing this: you are not too far gone. You are not broken. You are still building. Strength isn't behind you. It's beneath you. And with every bite, you are walking back toward it. The lesson is simple but powerful. Your independence is not just about willpower or luck. It's about what you choose to give your body every single day. Start small. Start today. And never stop feeding the future you deserve.